Listen up, everybody. This will only take a second. I just want to tell you all about the cool app that I use to record both of my podcasts called Spotify for Podcasters. You too can download it, start your own podcast, maybe make video podcasts. Or if you want to make a little coin, baby, with your podcast, you can do so using Spotify for Podcasters. So download the app today. What's going on, everybody? Super excited to be with you this morning. Kind of bummed out I'm not currently using my toys that I had bought to record podcasts with because I'm having some malfunctions. I'm trying to figure out where the malfunction is coming from because I've tried to record the Calistan podcast this morning. I'm running out of time though, so I know I can get this one in, and I'm super excited that I'm going to get one of them done, which honestly this one might be more important to get done today because then I can go ahead and get it all edited and ready to go for tomorrow because yes, I am recording on a Sunday morning at the moment, just because at the current juncture it's the easiest thing I can do. But welcome, I'm super excited to have you guys, and also peep that super sweet new logo. Want to give a huge shout out to Abby over at Abigail's Designs for making such an awesome logo that we can use here for this. And then we're going to be opening up a merch store for a lot of my endeavors, I guess, so to speak, like for merch for that. So like t-shirts, hoodies, whatever. So like be on the lookout for some really cool merch stuff coming soon. I'll have links and stuff in descriptions once we get to that, and I'll make an announcement whenever I do fully get the merch store set up. But things have been busy the past couple of weeks. Been really go ever since, like, I guess the week before Christmas. I did get to take 2 days off right after Christmas, so I had an extended weekend, which was nice because I ended up being like super whooped anyways from this past week. Like, I'm exhausted, but I got some good sleep. I got up this morning, was ready to rock, and man, when life gives you lemons, you go ahead and you make a super sweet podcast anyways. So today we're going to be discussing all kinds of cool things, music-wise. This is going to be the start of a series here. I started a series over on Calistan's podcast, and it got me thinking, you know what, I got a cool idea to kind of help get the idea of like what Tin Roof is. And so we're going to call it It's in the series. And so the first one we're going to look at is It's in the Spirit. So whenever I say that it's in the spirit, it's in the spirit of what somebody's trying to accomplish, what somebody's trying to do. So like the example that really gave me the idea to do like the Spirit of Tin Roof idea would be Ted Nugent. So Ted Nugent has the spirit of what Tin Roof is all about because he's a bow hunter, he's a rocker. He actually thinks Glenn Campbell is one of the greatest guitarists of all time, which I think is really, really cool. And whenever I heard him say that, I was like, you know, he may have a point there. I'm more of a Roger Miller guy, but that might be more lyrics than guitar playing, although I love the riffs in Roger Miller's songs. Glenn Campbell was fantastic musician, all well-rounded. And so I think that's really cool that a rocker, you know, draws a lot of inspiration from a country music artist. Next, I would have to say, like, continuing on about Ted Nugent, I mean, he has songs about Fred Bear. Like, how amazing is that? To have a song about the dude that, like, really brought bow hunting around to what it is. So I would definitely have to say, you know, he's got the idea. And then there's several people that do. Jonathan Davis from Korn, you know, he's kind of a interesting feller because like he loves hunting and everything else, and you wouldn't think that about him, but like he went on an African safari one time. He was saying in an interview, man, that had to have been like 2006, 2007, whenever their Korn album came out. It might actually be listed as untitled, but I think it was technically supposed to be a self-titled album. That one, man, cool album. Has Evolution on it, has Killing on it, and a few other things. But in an interview for that album, he was talking about how much he loved hunting. And it all started from like going on an African safari. And he's a laid back kind of guy that is pretty chill. And I gotta say, props to those guys. They've all really turned their lives around from where they were before. I know Fieldy had I don't think he's permanently left the band, but he's taken a step back because he was having some issues with some old habits and everything. And props to Fieldy, and I hope Fieldy's doing well, because you want everybody to do well, or you should want everybody to do well, and celebrate people's victories. If he's doing better by taking that step out of the limelight, good for him. Thankfully, we have lots of things from when Fieldy was with the band that's just fantastic. Like, that dude's slap bass. Flea may have started it, but Fieldy took it to another level. And cool taste in cars, too. Like, he's had some amazing lowriders and stuff that were just really cool to look at. So, really, I'd say he has a little bit of the tin roof in him. He may not be a country fan or like a country boy, but like, cars are cool. So, props off to him. With that slap bass, man, that is some tin roughness right there, because it sounds, somebody actually compared it to the sound of like aluminum foil shaking before, and whenever he said that, he was trying to be mean. And honestly, I thought it sounded pretty cool that he did it that way. It was unique, different. Just, it does kind of sound like aluminum foil in a way, but it's in a cool, good way. One of the best bass intros ever is on the Got the Life song. It's just, I would do it here, but I would sound ridiculous. So if you never heard the intro, I don't recall any bad words in that one, but at least go listen to the beginning of the song where it's just the bass, because it's fantastic. Next up would be Ryan Upchurch. Upchurch is definitely, he's got the country boy mentality, but he's also got like a love for rock and roll. He's put out a couple of rock albums, Creaker 1 and Creaker 2. Both are really, really cool, and I enjoy those. And I'm looking forward to Creaker 3, because I know it's in the works. I don't know when it's going to drop. He's got a new album coming up soon that I'm looking forward to seeing what might be listenable on there. And very talented guy, has, upbringing of, kind of a rough life, dropped out of high school, and eventually started making YouTube videos or whatever, and it took off, and he wanted to put out music, and then that took off, and the guy's built a really cool career out of it. But was like high school dropout, worked for the family's painting company and construction company, and then boom. And like lived in a trailer for a long time, and his recording studio was actually in his trailer. And then he finally decided to buy what is now labeled as Ghost Ranch. It was actually on some sort of TLC show, but he definitely does. I guess in a way, like whenever we're talking about this, we're giving short rundowns right now, whereas like in the future we'll probably do bigger breakdowns of like artists' career and different things, and talk about different interview spots and so on. But this kind of gives you an idea of like where my fandom is, as well as just like a cool like general overview of the show that could be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to doing it's in the series. So let's see. Dimebag Darrell from Pantera definitely had the spirit of, like all the guys from Pantera really had the spirit, because like, it's silly to say, but to put it into like a perspective, I would have to say that those guys were almost like the heavy metal Lynyrd Skynyrd in a sense. their first album was fantastic. You had Psycho Holiday, you had the song title track, that's titled after the album or vice versa. There's just so many good songs on that first album. Cemetery Gates, like, I can't talk enough about that first album being so good. And then you got the Great Southern Trendkill, which is such a super cool title. And the album cover is a rattlesnake. Like, those dudes got it and still get it, because like Phil Anselmo's still around. Unfortunately, Dimebag has passed on, so is Vinny, but Rex is still around. And what cooler dude to have fill in the spot if you're going to go on the road, if you're filling your Rex and you're wanting to kind of help people reminisce a little bit, plus bring back the idea of Pantera around, than to have Zakk Wylde fill in for Dimebag. Because those two guys, in my opinion, and we're going to talk about this in the future, probably during this It's in the series, we'll probably bring both of these guys back around, Dimebag and Zakk Wylde. I mean, because Zakk is one of the greatest guitarists in my opinion, and Dimebag definitely was too. Those two guys were able to just make insane, amazing riffs, and you know what? Let's plan for that. The third episode of this series will be It's in the Riffs. Next week is going to be It's in the Lyrics. So yeah, I've got a plan for this. This is going to be a fun thing to break down, and I'm super excited about it. So as you can kind of see, the whole idea of the Spirit of Tin Roof is very much rocking, very much having fun, country boy, rock and roll mixture together, I guess to say. And it's funny because a buddy of mine asked me a question over the New Year's holiday, and the question was, had I ever shot from a moving vehicle before, at an animal? And my response was, well, no. And he was like, I thought you were country. Well, yeah, some stuff I never got around to doing, I guess, or never had the opportunity. But I don't think you have to list all of your credentials as to why you enjoy, a country-ish lifestyle, I guess, so to speak. I mean, I enjoy hunting, I enjoy fishing. My brother, I guess you could call him my stepbrother, but my brother and I, we tried to tackle a doe, and that was in our front yard one time. Enjoy mud trucks and monster trucks. I actually used to work for a monster truck team, and I'm saying all this to kind of help you get the idea of like where I'm coming from, and like just the overall genuine feel for what I'm trying to accomplish with Tin Roof. There's some wrestlers out there that actually have the whole Tin Roof spirit, and that, like Shawn Michaels, Triple H and I actually share a birthday. Like Shawn Michaels, he is a bow hunter, but he also enjoys very much, other redneck things, but that's not what I was going to get at. He likes some rock music and different things, and he kind of reminds, like, if Ted Nugent was a wrestler, I think it would have been Shawn Michaels, because, like, very much the same style, somewhat same attitude, both very, very cool guys. Being a coffee connoisseur would be another thing. I can't think of anybody like in my mind right now, like particularly that would be a coffee connoisseur that would, be a mixture of embodying the Tin Roof spirit. But definitely coffee is a big, big part of me, I guess, so to speak. But I think we'll wrap it up with one more guy, because there was a couple other things I wanted to touch on in this episode. Just, we're here to have fun, guys, and I hope you guys are having fun at the moment. Sorry, I got distracted. Got a weather update. Supposedly we got some snow coming this week, and I've been kind of trying to pay attention to that. But let's see, who would be one more good final person to kind of hit on with this? I guess I would have to say that Post Malone. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Post Malone gets it. He's a big country music fan. Dude's hung out with all kinds of crazy people. Like, I feel like I could have a good conversation with Post. Be a little weird, in some aspects, I think, but the dude's put out a few good songs that I like. I can't think of the name of it, but the one that he did with Ozzy a couple years back, that one was really good. Huge country fan. Like, he's hung out with Dwight Yoakam and so many other like really, really good country artists that are actually country artists, so to speak. And this whole thing that he did with Hardy, I think will be really, really cool and turn out really, really well. I'm on the fence about Hardy in some aspects, but the dude's put out some really cool Hicks tapes. The whole Hicks tape thing is really, really cool. He's had some amazing guys on there doing things with him. I really love the song To Hank, because To Hank was really, really cool. It was about Hank Jr., but then Colt Ford comes in with the last verse, and it's all about Hank Sr., and I just thought that was super, super cool how they did that, and I love the song. Because I'm a big Hank Jr. and Hank Sr. fan. I like both of their music a lot. So, yeah, Hardy kind of has the spirit too, then, I reckon. But this was supposed to be about Post. He's a really interesting guy. I think he's got a country album coming out, but he also has that love for rock music. If you have not heard his cover of Them Bones, Pearl Jam's Last Kiss, he's got a few different covers that he's done of songs that is just, man, fantastic. You got to go check them out because they're just so, so good. Yeah, just highly recommend that, like, those covers and stuff a lot. So, like I said, we're going to wrap it up there for that at the moment. But the reason why is because I wanted to touch on something we discussed last week about the festivals, because I seen it pop up on somebody else's feed. It was done through Spotify, which I didn't listen to Spotify like at all this past year, but I'm going to this year because I've been trying to we had been using Apple Music, but since I got Spotify for doing the podcasts and checking to make sure my podcasts are working right and everything else, and then wanting to do the Tin Roof Christmas playlist, I started looking at getting a membership again, because I needed to really actually make the Tin Roof Christmas playlist. So my mind was kind of circulating around these thoughts this morning. It did like a festival thing, so it was like 3 days, and then it had several different bands on the 3 days, and I started thinking about like what my festival would look like. And I guess I'm gonna have to touch on it again next week, because my brain's starting to blank on like who all I would have there. And I'll organize it into days like that. And that it's kind of something that I wanted to do anyways. Was gonna do like a actual entire episode on like what my festival would be. And I think we'll just do a few minutes of next week's episode of like what my festival would be. But I'm gonna ask on the Facebooks what your dream festival would be if you could put together a festival of artists. We're also going to make some Tin Roof playlists for you guys to check out. It'll be full of non-explicit songs, so you won't have to worry about content. And we're going to compile some of my favorite artists. Sleep Token will be in there for sure. Chris Ledoux, Brooks and Dunn, Linkin Park, maybe a little Motionless in White and Whitechapel. We're going to have a good time. I do need to get off here to go ahead and get ready for the day. Y'all have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.